Hi guys. Hi. This is Lydia, the lifestyle coach, and we are ending eating disorders using nothing but your brain. We are talking about binge eating and bulimia and overeating and yo-yo dieting and food obsession and body hate and everything that goes along with that. Ending it. So you don't have the problem anymore. So it's not something that you're struggling with or ever relapse into because you don't have that problem anymore. It's you being able to be a normal eater. So eating is just easy and having a metabolism so you can eat all the things that whatever your normal eater self wants to eat, and you're gonna be fine, and you burn the fat as fuel and you burn calories and you can work out or not work out. Like, it is amazing the flexibility that we can have when we are out of this cycle and being able to move forward with your life. So that's what we're doing here at Life with Lydia, and really want to celebrate you guys. So a shout out to all of our incredible clients and grads. Like, we just had we met with our current clients earlier today on our fun little Q&A, and it was just so amazing to celebrate with them. Like, we have two people who announced today that they have literally gone from years and years and years, like decades of binging every single day, to now zero binging. Zero binging. They don't binge anymore. Like, they've gone from everyday binging to not binging anymore. Like, yes! How awesome is that? And breaking these old cycles, right? Like the things that they always used to do. Like, all right, well, I'm gonna, hide this from my family. I'm gonna make it an excuse to go out and get food, and then I'm gonna binge on it on the way home. Just celebrating with our incredible clients, just not doing that anymore. I want to give a big shout out to one of our really just phenomenal clients. She's been on her journey for like a few weeks now, right? It's like all of these results that I'm talking about are happening, within like 8, 6, 4 weeks, sometimes just a couple of weeks. It's really cool to see how quickly your brain changes when you actually do like what works to change your brain. And celebrating with her that she's like, man, I have my confidence back, and I have all this mental space, and I have all this energy back, and I'm getting things done, and people don't see me on the couch anymore. People see me up and doing things, and I'm able to look and think of all the things that I've wanted to do in my life for so long, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, now it's time to do them. Now that I have the time and the energy and the confidence that I'm getting things done, because my relationship with food is healed. It's such a cool thing, you guys. So just wanted to say shout out to all of our amazing clients and grads, and celebrating with you guys. Like, some of you just, popping and celebrating years and years later after your graduation from this life-changing process and these principles that helped you to go from having an eating disorder to not having an eating disorder anymore in like a handful of weeks. And now years later, you're getting to celebrate just how good this gets to be. And we were celebrating today just how many people, they go on to either starting a new job, or like getting their graduate degree, like a master's or a PhD, or starting a new job training or a new chapter of life, because now they have options. Now they can, there isn't just this one thing that they're trying to fix all the time. So really fun to see you guys here on our live feed. Hello, welcome on. Feel free to pop in with hearts and likes and comments and questions, and that's what's fun about live, is we get to talk live. And if you're listening to the playback, then that's cool too. But so fun to see you guys here, and hello, and welcome. So today we are going to dive into a really great topic that comes up in our part 2 of our series of the book Burnout, which is just absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't seen the part 1, you can go and see part 1, or you can just pick right up on part 2. It's not like they need to go together, but we're talking again about some great principles that the book Burnout talks about. It's really a phenomenal book with a lot of really important points made, just really, really well done. And then in this series, we're talking about how that relates to the struggle with food, and how those things go together. So this is something that is so incredibly relevant of most everyone who has a struggle with food, who has gotten free from their struggle with food, is still struggling with food. It's very interwoven with our position in society. So there's our internal journey, right? There's I'm struggling with food. I have urges to binge or overeat. I'm thinking about food all the time. But then there's also the society that we live in and what that promotes. So for instance, when there was an island nation that when like Western television was introduced, that in 1 month, only 1 month after seeing images from Western society about the beauty ideal and a thinness standard and, you know, the sorts of things that create eating disorders, quite frankly, that there was a huge uptick of eating disorders, like huge. It became a massive problem with just the introduction of television. That's one source of media. One source of media. And think of how we are bombarded with that all day, every day. So it's not just about us and our own journey. Yes, like you don't need to change society. You don't need to change other people. You don't need to live in a different world to get internally free yourself. But it's important to understand how the structure of society and the mentality that we're brought up with contributes to this problem being created and perpetuated, because that gives you power to break the cycle. So that's something that we're going to talk about today that is really beautifully given language to and named in the book Burnout. So again, hello, welcome you guys. Feel free to say hi. So fun to see you guys here. Okay, so in the book Burnout, they talk about human giver syndrome. So there are human beings and there are human givers. And I love what they say in there. The audiobook is very entertaining. They're like, and guess which ones the women are? Women in our society, in our world, are brought up to be human givers instead of human beings. So human beings are, I am a person who is going to have desires and is going to move forward in life and is going to be me. Human givers, this is what human giver syndrome is. It's like a virus that perpetuates itself. So the things that it promotes, it makes more of that. And it is this feeling and this obligation and this, if we don't do this, it just feels so wrong, with these elements. It is an obligation to be pretty, happy, calm, generous to everyone, and attentive to the needs of everyone. Is this sounding familiar? And that the failure to do those things is a failure as a person. So as a person, you are a failure if you are not all of those things at all times. And that you being a failure at a person, if you fail to do that, is you deserve punishment. And so these are the symptoms of human giver syndrome. It's not, yeah, Jen, I love what you said there, just like, yep. That it's not the truth. It's not that women are in truth failures if they don't do all these things. But we live in a society where if any one of those, or especially more than one of those, balls get dropped, then you are a failure as a person and you deserve punishment. Now, some of us are doing that with sabotaging our goals, hurting ourselves with food. Well, I deserve to be punished. I have to do everything better tomorrow, so I might as well just eat all of this. That definitely plays into it. That's the cycle that we show people how to break. But how this human giver syndrome connects with eating disorders is, one, eating disorders are much more prevalent in the female population. And that is because of how women are brought up. Like, it is societal factors that say it's better to be dead than to be fat at all costs, because this human giver syndrome is at all costs to be these things, even if it's a sacrifice to your health, even if it's a sacrifice to your sanity, even if it takes over your whole life, like at any cost, then you should try and strive your whole life to be the perfect human giver. And so the number one cause of eating disorders is restrictive dieting. And the number one cause of restrictive dieting relates very much back to this human giver syndrome. It's this feeling of, at all costs, I need to try to be pretty. I need to try to uphold all of these standards. And so let's talk about how this human giver syndrome relates with food-related things. It's all very much tied together. And so let's go ahead and dive into that. So we're just going to go one by one and really talk about like how this relates with this struggle with food. So it's an obligation to be pretty. Okay, so The pretty is this beauty standard that has been set up that is an impossible beauty standard. If you don't think that that's the case, I want you to think of the ultimate like societal beauty standard people, right? Maybe that's a supermodel. Maybe that's somebody who is, an actor, like, a female actor, somebody who is set up by society as like the perfect image of a human being. Now, we take those people, those genetically rare people, and we put them in advertisements or in fashion magazines. And then there is a whole crew of people that puts makeup on them and that adjusts the lighting. And then there's a whole other crew of people that takes those extremely doctored up images and then like with the light and the makeup, right? Like the physical things. And then spends a whole bunch of time and energy and budget and effort in photoshopping those people that are already supposed to be very rare and ideal into being the image that we see. Think of the impossibility of that beauty standard. Even the rare genetic few that align with it a little more still need makeup and lighting and photoshopping. And then those are the images that we're comparing ourselves against. So when we talk about the obligation to be pretty, we're not just talking about like the version of you that is clean and cared for. We're talking about the version of you that no matter what you do, you will never be able to look like, and every single day that you get older, you're farther and farther away from. And there are women who spend their entire lives chasing after the end of this rainbow of, if I could only be pretty enough, if I could only be thin enough, if I could only, then I could deserve something else. Because the first and foremost is you have to be this perfect human giver. And that's a huge cycle that gets people into eating disorders. And please know that I am acknowledging that there are lots of different ways that it can start. The number one cause of eating disorders is restrictive dieting. It may have started with other things. It may have started with trauma, or it may have started with lots of other reasons. It actually doesn't matter why it starts, because the reason that it continues is not the reason that it started. It is the perpetuation of that habit and that cycle. And that's why people come to us after 45 years of struggling and in 6 weeks are able to be binge free. Like that's the sort of results that we see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. Because no matter why it started, it's just the cycle, the habit that we break, and then you get to move forward and be free from that. It's really as simple as that. But a huge part of why this starts and gets perpetuated is this obligation of like, until I am pretty, until I am aligning with the beauty standard, I do not deserve anything else. I am a bad person. I deserve punishment. And everything else gets put on the back burner until that happens. So that's the first one, pretty. The next one is this obligation to be happy and to be calm. So we live in a world where it is taboo for a woman to show her emotions. If a woman is emotional, then she's said to not be trusted. If she shows her emotions, then she's like, oh my gosh, she's so fanatic, she's so crazy. What a crazy person that they're showing that emotion. And so any single time that, even if in small ways, we're showing different emotions, like men don't walk down the street and have people shout out to them, hey, smile, hey, like give me a smile, or oh, put a smile on that face. If a woman isn't walking around smiling, there are strangers that will come up to her and tell her to smile. It's this reinforcement of, you must be happy. You must look happy. It is more convenient for everyone. You as a human giver should not disturb anyone else by anything but showing that you are happy. So what lengths do we go to try to look happy all the time? Well, we don't show our emotions in public, but that's got to come out somewhere. And so we stuff our emotions down with food, or we have those emotions in secret that turns into all sorts of, awful habits and, harming ourselves, and that we never get any sort of support or solace or empathy, because all of our feeling is supposed to be done in secret. And even in secret alone, feeling those emotions other than happiness we still, even on our own, are beating ourselves up for feeling it because we shouldn't feel that way. And, oh, you have so much to be grateful for. Or why would you feel that way? Or why can't I be happy? Or I should be happy. So we're constantly stuffing down and beating ourselves up about that, which is incredibly damaging. And then it relates with the pattern with food as well. And then there's element of calm, right? Don't take up too much room. Don't speak too loud. Don't rock the boat. And reinforce that other people don't rock the boat, because then that's not fair, because you're the one following the rules and nobody else should, be able to not follow the rules, right? So women reinforce this for each other, this human giver syndrome, which is a real bummer. Like, let's turn that around. But that I have to appear calm all the time means that in keeping ourselves down and quiet, it relates back to the staying small, and any sort of crazy or extreme behavior needs to be done in secret, right? So a lot of times we're not binging in front of others. And there are many cases where we don't feel good about it, but sometimes it's just so out of control that it's like, I actually am doing this in front of other people because I feel so little control over my own life. And then we are doing it in front of people. But for the most part, a lot of times people are trying to hide their binge eating or their overeating. And so in public, appear calm. In public, order the salad. In public, put the dressing on the side, please. In public, oh no, thank you, I'm not eating donuts right now. In private, right? You put on that calmness all day long so that people can think you're a perfect human giver. And then you come back home, and when everyone's asleep and when you're alone, then we binge and we go crazy. And it feels awful in one part, right? Because this is not something we want to do, and it's getting us farther away from that pretty standard. But then part of it feels good. Part of it feels like a release. Part of it feels like being human. When you are so hungry and when you are craving things in such an extreme way, and then you let yourself have it, then it feels like this grasp at your own humanity. And then you feel bad for feeling good about it. And then that just perpetuates the cycle even more. So all of these elements of, like, I have to appear happy and I have to appear calm and I have to appear pretty all the time, just feed back and back and back into this struggle with food. And then the next element is the generous to everyone and attentive to the needs of everyone. So people's lives get put off day after day and year after year, especially women struggling with food, because of this element of the human giver syndrome. I have to be generous to everyone and attentive to the needs of everyone. And I do not have permission to do things for myself until everyone else's needs are taken care of. And that day never comes where everyone else's needs are taken care of. This is the over and over and over and over pattern that we see with the incredible human beings that come to us. Is they started out with, I struggled with food when I was young, but I didn't want to worry anyone, so I didn't tell anyone about it, so I went ahead and put it off. And then I was in college and I needed to focus on my studies, and I needed to focus on my relationships. I needed to make sure that my parents were okay. I wanted to make sure that everyone else was proud of me. And so my struggle with food continued, but I needed to make sure that I, looked okay to everyone and didn't worry at everyone. And so I put it off. Then I got married and I had some kids and I had a family, and I'm like, well, I really need to take care of this food thing because it's hurting me and it's taking my health and I'm feeling crazy every day. But people need things. Like my young kids, they needed my attention. I simply couldn't focus on myself and take that attention. Like my husband, he needed my support while he was going through medical school. Like, I had to support him. Like I simply couldn't take time off to do something for myself. And then later on, it's like, well, now my kids are in college. And, it's like, sure, I might have more time for myself because I'm an empty nester and they're off to college, but I can't invest in myself to get the help that I need because, well, my husband's business, like he needs the money for that, and my kids, they need that money for college. Do you see how it just keeps on getting diffused and diffused and diffused to everyone else's needs before my own. I cannot do anything that costs money because other people need money. I can't do anything that takes time because other people need my time. I can't do anything that takes effort because I need to put that effort toward other people. And our eating disorder gets worse and worse and worse. Like, this is when we look back and be like, it's been 40 years that I've struggled with this. So then, okay, other people need, like the kids are in college, they need this, they need that. Okay, now we're retired. Now it's time to relax. Now it's time to enjoy what we've had. Well, because I have been giving my money and my time and my efforts to everyone else my whole life, even if I wanted the help, now we're in retirement, and now we're on a fixed income, and now we don't have income coming in. So I can't spend any money on myself because we need that for other things. So I can't invest in good solutions. And people keep doing this until they're dead. Like, women will be encouraged to be these human givers that give to everyone else without fixing their own problems or focusing on themselves or investing in themselves their whole lives. And there's this trail of everyone else's lives being served because they're attentive and generous to the needs of everyone else, but never getting to be present in life, never getting to feel what it's like to be healthy, never knowing what it's like to have calm in one's own mind because of the attentiveness to every single other person except themselves. And so being in this human giver syndrome, the book Burnout has some really wonderful things to help to overcome that, which is great. Those principles are very, very aligned with what we do. A big part of what we help people do is like the very fact that they're getting the help that they need is this incredible message to themselves. So for instance, it's as simple as breaking the cycle, right? The human giver syndrome is something that is like a virus that perpetuates itself, but the moment that you start interrupting the pattern so that's not perpetuated anymore, then the moment that starts getting better. And if any of you guys are on who have had that experience, who have been on this journey, been through our program, like on the side of freedom and enjoying that, like feel free to chime in with how this is connected with your life, how you've gone from like a human giver syndrome to actually feeling good about your own freedom and doing something for yourself. So we have had so many people that we've coached that ending their eating disorder, cool. Like, that's awesome. That's why they came to us. Like, hooray for that, right? But then there's so much more than that. What we hear over and over is, I am so proud of myself that I invested in myself to get this done. If my child had an eating disorder, it would be no question. Like, in a moment, I would get them the help that they needed. But it was so hard to do that for myself, and I did it. And I'm so proud of myself in that. We have so many people celebrating that in their time, like they are taking time for themselves and they're actually able to do more for everyone else around them and to be able to take care of people better because they're taking care of themselves and giving themselves that permission. Oh, Jen, I love that. You're saying, yes, that's me, a nice break for myself. Yeah, love it. And what happens is that this first declaration of I deserve freedom, I deserve care, I deserve help, it's really great because it breaks the dam and the floodgates are open to, once you give yourself permission once, then you have your permission to do it again. Because you saw like, wow, instead of suffering for the next 40 years like I have for the last 40 years, I'm actually getting the true help that I need to fix this. And I'm seeing incredible results because of that. And then you have the rest of your life ahead of you with your sanity and your energy and your health and your freedom. And then it's like, oh, well, I mean, I could do that again. Like, I can invest in myself. I can get my degree. Like, I can invest in myself. I can take time to go and do the training or the service or the, wonderful experiences that I've wanted to. Like, yes, I absolutely am deserving of some clothes that fit or being able to have a wonderful experience because I can treat myself. Like, when we start extending the generosity that we give to others to ourselves, phenomenal things happen. Because what it comes down to is you only have one life. You're going to spend it focusing on other people with human giver syndrome and never being able to be happy yourself, or you're going to choose to take some life for yourself. And guess what? It gets better for everyone else. We have never had a child that's seen her mom get free, or never seen a child at the end of their mother's life where she's obese and dying of diabetes being like, oh, good mom, I'm so glad that you put me first and never took care of yourself. Much better for you to be dead than for me to have been inconvenienced with you not being there all the time, or making my lunches for me, or making sure that you never spend anything on yourself and you only spend it on me. Super glad that I had a few extra things, totally worth your life. Nope. Because the people around us love us. Like, your children love you. If you're like, hey, would you like me to die and never get the help that I need to support you more? Like, nobody's going to say yes to that. So we can't use that as an excuse. Like, I'm sorry if you are in an abusive relationship where there is somebody that would rather you be miserable and hurt and wear your life out no matter at what cost to your health or your sanity, so that life is a little more convenient for them. But maybe really rethink that relationship. That's an issue with the relationship. That has nothing to do with what you actually deserve. And I want to give a shout out and super proud to all of the incredible people who have come through our program after they've gotten out of really awful relationships, and they've had the bravery and they've had the just incredible fortitude and tenacity to get themselves out of a bad situation. So that was the first thing that like allowed them to move forward of like, wow, I actually don't deserve to be hurt. I actually don't deserve this abuse. And then they're like, but I'm still hurting myself with food. Okay, now let's get done with that. So sometimes it's a decision even before that that allows people to have the courage to step forward and really get the help that they need. But either way, your life is going to be spent in some way. It's going to be spent with happiness and freedom and you taking care of yourself, or it's going to be spent with this human giver syndrome and wondering what that would have been like, wondering what it would have been like to be free, what it would have been like to be happy, what it would have been like to do something for yourself. Don't let yourself wonder at the end of your life. You only get one life. Every single day that goes by is a day that you do not get back. If you want to spend that in freedom, you absolutely can. But it means breaking the cycle. It means saying, I am not going to be a human giver anymore, and I'm going to take steps toward giving a message to myself that I am worthy. And that's really what it comes down to. And I'm so proud of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that we have now freed from this, that took that first scary step of like doing something for themselves. Even something that like, we have a free breakthrough session. It is free. It costs no money. It is 1 hour. And we have people that it's hard for them to even carve out that hour. Like, even if it is like the best time they've ever spent on their freedom and being able to be free for the rest of their lives, we have some people that like, it's hard for them to carve out that hour. If that's hard for you, like that's the first step of deciding that you deserve that freedom. If it was somebody else that needed you, you would absolutely make the hour. So have that person be you that you show that generosity toward. In fact, that's a wonderful step to take right now. As you go to lifewithlydia.com/apply. Again, that's lifewithlydia.com/apply. And book a free breakthrough session. Give yourself a gift for you, the gift of that time, the gift of somebody who cares about you and knows how to get you free to spend that one-on-one time. They're willing to give it to you. Decide that you are willing to receive it. And that is a step that you can take from stepping out of the human giver syndrome into being more of who you truly should get to be and can claim is being the incredible human being that you are. And life gets better for everyone when you do that. You deserve freedom. You deserve care. You deserve help. You deserve happiness. And to live in a life of confidence where you're not constantly under the tyranny of having to try to appear happy and appear calm and appear perfectly pretty and that everyone else is first. Like, it is so powerful and wonderful to walk into a room as your own powerful self, willing and happy to take up space, being fully you, being confident and comfortable and peaceful in your own body and in your own mind. It's a really wonderful way to live. And every single one of you deserve that. But You've got to send a message to yourself that you're serious about it. That's the important piece. So again, you can go to lifewithlydia.com/apply to book a free breakthrough session. And so fun to see you guys here for another awesome live feed. And this is Lydia, the lifestyle coach, signing off. Bye guys. Mwah.